So you want to be a dungeon master?
So, you wanna be a dungeon master.
So you want to be a DM?
Them some feats, okay? Feats.
So you want to
gonna
be a
take it.
DM?
That's great. We're here to help. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Justin. Whoa, sorry, I was practicing
Scared me.
stealth checks. Because this week, we're going to be covering the Rogue 2024. Now, as usual, we're going to see what's different, what stayed the same, and is any of it good? Remember, these are just our opinions. If you and your table are having fun, that's all that matters. Well, before the Rogue mains can sneak up on us, let's jump into it. But first, it's gonna have it. But first, what would you do with an Oops All Rogues campaign or one shot or whatever, but you're not allowed to do heists? No Ocean's 11,
yeah,
no
okay.
casino robbing,
no,
no
I got you.
banks.
Yeah, no, there's a whole other aspect to rogues though, and that is
I agree,
assassination.
but
So we do
That's a good one.
assassinations, like a wanted situation. You ever see
Oh.
that movie where they have like the
course I have.
tapestry and yeah, you got curved the bullet.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman. Hell yeah. The Weave,
Uh-huh.
the Loom,
Yeah.
whatever.
The loom or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
they
would
just
never.
so like
I-
that's your thing is like the Oops All Rogues could be a whole campaign and it's just like
Yeah.
assassination missions.
Man, I would be James McAvoy in that movie, because as soon as you tell me that these missions are coming from a weave thing, that's just
Yeah.
and it's just becomes a thing about tradition, and it's like, well, this is just how it's always been, and it's like, nope, absolutely not. I'm such a
Yeah.
skeptic and also a cynic when it comes to tradition sometimes, where I'm like,
Yeah,
just
oh,
because
yeah.
we've always been doing it this way doesn't mean that it's
Does
the
not
right
make
way.
it right. Yeah.
But from a story standpoint, it's always an interesting thing to delve into. Especially, I like that idea a lot. Assassins is definitely a really good one. I was also thinking of, I don't know if this brushes too closely to the nugget that is the core of heists, but like a prison escape or some kind of escape thing,
Oh yeah.
having to get out of a high security situation. But that's kind of like just a heist in reverse. It's just like there's still security things, there's still locks to pick probably, and all these things. It's just instead of breaking in, you're breaking out.
Right.
So is it kind of just a heist? I don't know. I don't know. But before I go too deeply on that,
Yeah.
listen, gang, there's this amazing thing called a Patreon, and you don't even have to break into it. You can just sign up. It's amazing. As a free member, you get a lot of cool stuff, weekly homebrew items, plus some other things. And then just for $2 a month, man, you're getting all kinds of shit. There's extra bonus content. If you like the podcast, you're going to love the bonus action. One more cheer up at the Adult Dragon Gang member. Then not only are you getting shout outs, but also all other kinds of stuff like the Action Surge. We're wrapping up on a bunch of cool actual play projects. And at the end of almost every single, I say almost because there's definitely one that I think we missed it. But across 4 actual plays, every other episode has this like nice little cool down where we get to talk to each other about the game, things that happened, character decisions, ask questions. It's a blast. So check out the Patreon. But let's get into the meat of the episode.
Let's do it.
Now, today we're talking Rogue. We know this. You know this. The intro said
We know
so.
this. Yep, the intro said
We know
so.
this.
The episode is titled Rogues.
This is also true. So getting into it, level 1, basic shit, right? Everything kind of stays the same. Hit dice is D8. Dex and intelligence are your saving throw proficiencies. Skill proficiencies, you get to choose 4. Acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth. I don't have that many fingers. I actually, maybe I do have
You
that
definitely
many
have
fingers.
that many fingers.
Yeah.
You got to use both hands. but
Yeah. All right, moving on. Sorry, I totally just distracted myself. You get weapon proficiencies. Now, the way
Mhm.
they write this is very funny to me because it just says simple weapons and martial weapons that have the finesse or light property.
Okay.
Now, does that mean you can use any simple weapon that has finesse or light and
Mhm.
any martial weapon that has finesse or light? Or does it mean all simple weapons, regardless of properties, and martial weapons that have a finesse or a light property? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, does that have a finesse or light property
I
qualifier
think
apply to martial weapons or both?
I think the martial weapons. I think all simple weapons.
Okay. That's kind of
I think
where
there's
I
a
was
missing
leaning as
comma or
well.
something just because of how it is, because it should be simple weapons, comma, and martial weapons that have the finesse or light property.
I agree. And I wish that it did. But I
No, I know.
intentionally copied this over pretty
I know.
specifically because I noticed it in the moment and was like, huh, what exactly do they mean by this? But there is no comma. Just an interesting little thing. In
Right.
2014, it's all simple weapons and then like hand crossbones, this thing. Like it's
Hmm.
so I think that's what they mean, but I wish they
Yeah.
had a comma, just make it a little more simple. Anyway, uh armor training. You light armor, that's
Light armor.
basic.
Yep.
Tool proficiencies, thieves tools, we get that.
Hmm.
And then a list of starting equipment or gold or whatever. But at level 1, you're also going to get a bunch of other things. Expertise, 2 of those skill proficiencies you now gain expertise in, double your proficiency bonus. Sneak attack, it's the same thing. As opposed to going over every single way that you could get sneak attack, we go back to the other rogue episode, or it's a simple Google check. It's pretty
Yeah.
much you need advantage on the attack. It needs to be a finesse or a light weapon. And then in addition to that, or it needs to just be a finesse weapon, I should say. But then in addition, without needing advantage, if you have a friend nearby within 5 feet of your target that's not incapacitated, that could also give you sneak attack.
Hmm.
That's really the fast and short of it. There's other ways to get sneak attack depending on if you have special subclass features, like the swashbuckler in 2014, which as of right now isn't official material for 2024, but it would be all too easy to just copy that guy over,
Hmm.
because not a ton has changed for Rogue, I'm being honest. There's little things here and there that we'll go over.
Right.
The cunning strike that we go over eventually is a big change. Most things, broadly speaking, stay the same. There was like one change that I was like, holy shit, that's wild. And I can't wait for
Hmm.
us to go over it. But
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
sneak attack, like I said, pretty much the same. It starts as a 1d6 for the extra damage. It increases the same increase scaling that
Yeah. Hmm.
2014 does, where it's almost like every 2 levels.
Right.
You get thieves can't, which same, but you
Hmm.
also get to learn one other language as a part of that. So I like that. And then weapon
Cool.
masteries, obviously a new thing in 2024. You get 2 weapon masteries, or weapon masteries for 2 weapons.
Right.
And after a long rest, you can switch them up.
Good. All right. Well, that's cool. I'm glad they give you weapon mastery baked into the subclass.
Or baked into the
Or
base
baked into
class
the class.
itself. Yeah.
Baked into the base class. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, now that just opens it up to, rather than having to take a feat, potentially just multi-classing for weapon masteries, and you get sneak attack with it.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. And there's a lot of ways now for rogues to get more than one attack because
Hmm.
of, some of the weapon masteries let you get a bonus action
Yeah.
in there or something like that. So that's
Hmm.
nice. Um, that's level 1, pretty basic, but still good. Obviously, the rogue gets a lot of stuff front loaded. And then level 2, we get our favorite rogue feature, one of my favorites, just because it makes me feel so immediately optimized in combat, where I always have a
Right.
bonus action, even when I don't have that weapon mastery to do an extra attack or a cool
Hmm.
spell to do, or I can, no matter what, I'm going to use my bonus action for something. and that's the cunning action, bonus action, dash, disengage, and hide.
Mhm.
So it normally takes an action. You get to do it as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Level 3, we're getting our subclass feat, but we're also getting steady aim. Now, this is a cool thing because I remember this in Baldur's Gate and I liked it a lot because sometimes you're like, hey, as a character, I'm not moving.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's you, then this is awesome because you get to use your bonus action to just give your next attack advantage. Which as a rogue
Interesting.
is huge because we all know what it's like when you're the rogue and there's literally no way to get sneak attack. And you're like, cool, I'll do 1d8 plus my dex. Like, that's great.
Right.
And I'm level
Right.
14 and that's all I'm doing. Now it's like, hey, yes, you have to make a little sacrifice. You're not allowed to move at all on that turn. Even if you already moved 10 feet, you can't
Then
do
you
this.
can't do
Yeah,
steady
you
aim.
can't
Got
have
it.
used any of your movement before or after doing this. So bonus action, and then boom, now your next attack has advantage.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
the way it's worded made it seem like in theory you could like attack this turn, get sneak attack, whatever, blah, blah, blah. As long as you didn't move, you could
Mhm.
bonus action, and then at the top your next turn,
Right.
you could fire. That's how it's worded to me, at least when I read it. But pretty cool. Steady aim right at level 3. Level
Mhm.
4, ASI or feet. Level 5, this is the cunning strike. This is where things get a little interesting. Starting to treat the possible sneak attack damage as its own resource that you can draw from. So
Okay.
when you deal sneak attack damage during a hit, you can sacrifice some of the damage dice to do cool
Mhm.
things. So when you
Okay.
do that, you're doing less damage. That's just you're not rolling
Right.
those
Right.
dice
Right.
when it comes to damage, but you're using them as a resource to be able to do these extra little effects.
Now,
Now,
can you use more than one on a thing? Does it say anything about that?
it does.
Okay.
You can only use one because later on at level 11, it says you can use up to 2 cunning
Okay.
strike
Got
effects.
it. Got it.
So good question. So if a cunning strike requires any kind of saving throw or anything like that, it will be 8. The DC, I mean, will be 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your dexterity modifier, which
I like that.
so presumably it's gonna be pretty high
Mhm.
or pretty good in general.
Right.
Because dex is probably gonna be your number one stat if you're a rogue, unless something went horribly wrong. But the 3 things that you can do right off the bat:
Mhm.
poison, trip, or withdraw. All of them are going to cost a d6. So, like just one d6, I should say.
Mhm.
So, I did sneak attack. Normally my sneak attack would be 5d6, but I'm going to choose to poison them. So now my sneak attack is 4d6 in terms of damage.
Right.
But now the target has to make a constitution save. Otherwise, they're poisoned for 1 minute and they can make the save at the end of each of their turns.
Okay.
That's the poison one. The trip one, if the target is large or smaller, dexterity save, or they go prone.
Mhm.
And for withdraw, after the attack, you can move up to half your speed without opportunity attacks. So
Rad.
just some extra little stuff.
Mhm.
You still get to use weapon masteries on top of this too, which is why I
Right.
saw the trip one and I was like, dang. Like I'm not at the place where I can just memorize which weapon has which weapon mastery. So like
Mhm.
I would have to look at the list and kind of see how that would play out with the other weapon masteries and the combos that are possible with that,
Oh
but
yeah.
still pretty gnarly. And then same thing as always, level 5, you're gonna get that uncanny dodge. When you're hit with an attack roll that you can see, you can use your reaction to have the damage rounding down.
Nice. That's
Pretty
just classic rogue stuff.
pretty solid stuff.
Mhm. I
Taylor, can you
love
do the
rogues.
next couple ones? Because we're gonna hit something at level 7 that's gonna blow your fucking mind if you haven't read ahead in the outline yet.
I definitely did, and I know what you're talking about, but yes, I will read ahead. I will continue. Moving on to level 6, 2 more expertise. Level 7, you get evasion, same thing as it used to be. And now also at level 7, you get reliable talent, which is
Whoa.
one of those game breaking skills that rogues have where anytime you roll a skill check on a proficient skill or tool and you roll lower than a 9, it counts as a 10. So
Yeah.
you're never rolling lower than a 10 on anything that you're proficient in, which is crazy. And you used to get it at level 11. Now
Yeah.
you get it at level 7, which is wild.
It's a pretty big jump.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
pretty big jump.
crazy.
I know. It felt like so many changes that Wizards made during 2024 were trying to stop people from multi-classing.
Uh-huh. But then
And
they
this
made
is
it,
one of the
yeah.
few ones where it's like, no, no, multi-class as soon as possible.
Right.
Because I can't tell you how many times we've played. The real reason I think they did this is because I also, this is like a theme that maybe I'm reading too far into the
Mm,
writing and the design changes of 2024.
mhm.
I feel like they made so many changes that heavily favor the players over the dungeon
Right.
master. That it's just we're
Right.
making the players stronger, mechanically better. They're going to be happier, which in many cases is good. You want the players to be
Mhm.
happier, of course. But that's what I feel here is the fact that most campaigns, they're not even at level 11. You're lucky to even be at level 11. And then if you
Right.
want a multi-class, then it's even harder to get this reliable talent thing. Like I've always wanted to have reliable talent.
Yeah,
I've never played a rogue at level 11. But level 7, that's very possible.
for sure. Yeah.
Very possible. So that's what I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
I agree with you. It does seem like a lot of those changes are to kind of either get the early game going faster and kind of get everybody in their roles quicker, or to, make it so the game will have more longevity almost because everybody's
mm-hmm.
got all these cool abilities up front and that makes them want to play more. But anyway, moving on to level 8, you know it, you love it, ASI or feat. Um, Level 9, you get subclass feat. Level 10, another ASI. Level 11, you get improved cunning strike. So rather than getting reliable talent here, you're now getting improved cunning strike, which means, as we went over earlier, you get to use 2 of the cunning strike abilities, paying the proper dice for each.
Mm-hmm.
Level 12, guess what? Another ASI. Level 13,
Or feet.
subclass feat. Or feet. Level 14, you get devious strikes, which is it's just more things that you can do with cunning strike.
Yeah, this is where
They
things get
cost,
real crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They
They start
cost
doing some big ones.
more. Yeah. So they cost a bunch of dice, but you get to do some really, really cool shit. So like, the first one is daze. It's a 2d6 cost, Constitution save, or on its next turn, the target must only move, action, or bonus action. It only gets one of the 3. Um, you can also knock them out for 6 of your d6. It's a con save, or it has the unconscious condition for 1 minute or until it takes damage. It can make the save at the end of each turn. That one seems like a lot of risk for minimal reward.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on the context of what's going on there.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I can see moments when this would be really nice, and other moments when like it's a little challenging.
Hmm.
Because keep in mind, at level 14, you figure if you're a spellcaster, right? At level 14, you probably have a DC of like 17, 18.
Right.
Maybe not 18. I'm trying to think actually. 8 plus your proficiency bonus at that time is easily a 4, if not a 5. So that's like 12. You probably have a 5 in your stat. So it's at least a 17, if not higher.
Right.
Um, so unless you're doing this to a dragon, something that has an insanely high con, then
That's true.
you're knocking out most things. Hopefully they can't make the saving throw most of the time.
Right.
Um, and then they're just unconscious. So it's really good for like really specific stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
because you're not. And when things are unconscious, though, I will say the 1-2 punch of it all is fucking crazy because if you're unconscious, you're like incapacitated, right? So not only
Right.
does that mean that you're going to drop spell concentrations, you're going to do all this other kind of stuff that, like, if you're fighting a barbarian, their rage ends, all of
Hmm.
those things. And if you're within 5 feet of an unconscious creature and hit it with a melee attack, isn't that an auto crit?
Yeah.
So
Theoretically, I gotcha.
it could be sick,
Yeah.
but the stars need to start aligning kind of
Mm-hmm,
a little bit. There needs to be a little bit of either pre-thought or like teamwork or something.
Right.
But it could be nice. It's also nice that you could just like so easily definitively be like, I'm just gonna knock this guard the fuck out.
Right.
That way, even if it's a
Yeah,
guard
yeah, yeah,
captain
yeah.
and the DC and the DM gave them like 40, 50 hit points, it's like it doesn't even matter what their hit points are. I'm gonna knock them
Right.
out, even if they have a million hit points.
Right.
I do like that.
Because I like that there's no size restriction or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last thing that you get for 14 is the obscure, and it's 3d6, and it's a dex save, or the enemy is blinded until the end of its next turn. That's rough, buddy.
That is rough. So a couple more options when you do your cunning strike.
Mhm.
So I mean, obviously you need to hit with sneak attack in order
Yeah.
to activate these kind of. So it already sort of limits itself, but we've already talked about in previous episodes and stuff like that how there's ways to get more than one sneak attack. Not in
Right.
your same turn, but in the round.
Right.
Right? Like if that includes opportunity attacks, that includes
Mhm.
other reactionary attacks. Like if you have a battle master that does their little ability, I can't remember what it's called, but one of
Right.
them's like a call to action kind of thing. And it's like a friend can make an attack as a reaction.
Like and
But
subscribe.
like and subscribe. Smash that like button. No. So at level 15, you're gonna get slippery mind. You become proficient in wisdom and charisma saving throws. This is just a good thing.
Mhm.
Even if it's level 15, I'm never mad at being like proficient in more saving throws.
Right.
I'll fucking take it.
Mhm.
Like, that's awesome. Level 16, ASI, or and then it's level 17, subclass, and then level 18, we're getting elusive. Okay. So no attack roll can ever have advantage against you unless you have the incapacitated condition.
Okay.
Incapacitated is like one of the worst things. It ends so many player abilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wink, wink, DMs. Get in there,
Get in there, incapacitate your players.
Incapacitate them. Level 19. We get an epic boon. Dude, this boon is epic. Freaking all it's Odyssey all up in this bitch. I don't know. Anyway, because it's an epic poem. Sorry.
You lost me on that one.
Boon of the so Homer, right?
No. Okay, let's
So
get
Homer
back.
wrote an epic poem, which is really just a fancy literary term for a very long story that's somewhat written poetically, I suppose. And the Iliad and the Odyssey are considered epic poems, right? And so this is an epic boon. So what I had said was, are you starting to get it?
I got it.
Okay.
I'm on board now.
Boon of the Night Spirit. This is what they recommend to you. Boon of the Night Spirit gives you an ASI of 1 skill by 1 to a maximum of 30, just like they all do. Then you get Merge with Shadows. While you're in dim light or darkness, you can turn invisible as a bonus action. It ends if you take an action, a bonus action, or a reaction, but not movement. So
okay.
You're just, as long as you stay in dim light or darkness and don't do those 3 things, you're just invisible forever.
That's crazy.
Now, a shadowy form is the name of the next little ability. While you're within dim light or darkness, you also have resistance to all damage except psychic and radiant.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so just resistance to all damage, except for those 2 kinds, which is gnarly as hell. So that's the epic boon that they recommend. And honestly,
that's cool.
Depending on the campaign, I get they're like, I don't know, maybe 1 in a million where you're playing in a campaign where there's no shadows, I guess.
Right.
It's the time of no shadows, like in that Rugrats episode. Level 20. I don't know how I feel about this one. It's a good ability. It just feels every once in a while like, I don't know. We'll see. Stroke of luck. If you fail any D20 test, you can just instead decide that it's a 20.
Sure.
You can do that once per short or long rest.
Dang.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just like, it doesn't feel as fun. I don't know. You could just take the lucky feat and then you get advantage. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I'm just kind of like, it's good.
Right.
It's just after you read that epic boon, it's
Mhm.
kind of like, oh yeah, that's good. It just
I mean,
doesn't
it's
feel exciting. It's
right.
mechanically good
Right.
because it's any D20 test and you can make it into a 20. And this is another kind of like low key, a little bit of annoying thing about the way that they wrote some of this stuff. And I understand that they can't necessarily put millions of footnotes for every possible iteration of how the rules will intersect.
Right.
Does this mean you can just automatically make one of your crits, like one of your attack rolls a crit? Because it says that you're changing the dice to a 20, but like it doesn't. I mean, like that
Theoretically,
feels like a crit. I know ability checks and saving throws,
according
there's
to
no crit
according
stuff,
to
but
this, you would have to miss first. Because if it says if you fail a D20 test, so you'd
right.
have to lose that. But I would say yeah. I would say yeah. I mean, you get it once per short rest. If you're going to burn it on an attack, do it.
Yeah, it just
As a
feels like
DM, yeah, absolutely. If you're going to burn that on an attack, absolutely do it.
okay. So then you're being able to almost guarantee, unless you don't miss, I guess.
Right. But yeah, I
But
mean, it's
in the
one
chance that
crit.
you miss, which is like gonna happen eventually,
Mm-hmm.
you're guaranteeing
A crit.
20d6 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I'd have to look at some spell stuff and see if that feels good. I don't know. There's a world where I'm like, could any other class reasonably guarantee 20d6 damage every short rest? Because like eventually like the wizard will run out of spell slots where that can do
Right.
that. Like obviously if you cast a 9th level meteor swarm, you're doing 20d6 damage easy, but like
Mhm.
you're not going to have 9th level spell slots forever, even if you take short rests. I'm kind of okay with it. I think like I'd have to see it in action. It's
Yeah.
also level 20, so it's kind of like
Right.
fucking whatever.
Right.
It is level 20, so it's not like your encounters are just going to be like completely defeated every
Mm-hmm.
time forever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a powerful ability when you
It's
consider
very
the
strong
action, the using
ability
attacks
for
and
sure.
stuff and all that kind of jazz. Well, Taylor, you've played rogues, yes? I know you've played a couple rogues
I've played
for like
Rogue.
quick games.
Yeah, yeah. I've played a couple of rogues. Yeah,
I
they're
love
fun.
playing rogues. I
Mhm.
like playing rogues a
All
lot.
of them have been multi-classed. I don't think I've ever
Mm,
played a straight rogue.
for sure. Yeah, Rogue is one of those ones that it does feel really good to work into multi-classes often, but
Mhm.
it also does feel very good when you stay on the course only because of how sneak attack builds,
Right.
you know? But with that exception, I mean, it is really nice. I've never been obviously with weapon masteries, this would change, and this would actually is one of the things I do think is decent with the weapon masteries and stuff with Rogue, my always biggest complaint was just having the one attack.
Yeah.
That was always my biggest like little
Mhm.
thing in my bones that was like, ugh, everyone else gets to do, you know? Because it's
Right.
like, yeah, wizards get only one magic action or whatever, but they get spells, and spells are creative and fun to flavor and all this stuff. The rogue, one attack, and I am just martial. That's why. Let's get into subclasses. Segue. Arcane Trickster is my favorite subclass for rogues. Always has been, always will be. Nothing beats it in
It's a
terms
good one.
of unless you're like doing cool multi-class things like the old assassin, because wait till you see what they did to my baby. But the old assassin from 2014 and like Gloomstalker from also 2014, because I feel strongly about both of those. That is dope. But if you're sticking to Rogue on its own, I love Arcane Trickster. And so if you don't mind, I'd love to go over this one.
Sure,
And
go
then I'm
for it.
going to just plop Assassin onto you, and I apologize in advance because I don't like it.
All right.
But I love you, Taylor. That's important to know. You
All right,
know?
let's do it.
Okay, so Arcane Trickster. Level 3, you're gonna get spell casting. Okay.
Mhm.
You're using intelligence as your spellcasting modifier when determining DC and spell attack bonuses and stuff like that. All of the spells that you'll learn, that's all going to be coming from the wizard spell list. There's no other, like, other than like you must prepare spells of levels you have and all that normal spell casting rules.
Mhm.
There's no like you must pick a spell from this school.
Right.
That never shows up. Which I don't think was always the case.
No, I think in the original one it had to be from illusion or enchantment.
Illusion or enchantment. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't see that anywhere in there.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I liked that. Now, you immediately learn Mage Hand because you're going to get a buff of it in a second. And 2 other wizard cantrips. Level 10, you get another cantrip. You don't get a ton of spell slots with this. I mean, these guys are going to be looking at paladins and they're going to be going, God, you guys are lucky.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
it only goes up to 4th level. And at 19th and 20th level, you'll still have just 1 4th level slot. So rough. But you're a rogue. Like, you're not meant to be a huge spellcaster.
Right.
So it is okay. Like, balance wise, it totally makes sense. But of course, like, as somebody who loves spellcasters, Taylor and I can both attest. Once you start tasting that sweet, sweet arcane juice, it's like, oh fuck. What do you mean I can only go to 4th level, you son of a gun? But you start learning 3 wizard spells right at the jump. All of the spells will be wizard spells. And you also, at this level, are going to get the Mage Hand Ledger Domain, whatever the fuck that is. And that just allows you to cast Mage Hand as a bonus action. You can control it as a bonus action and use it to make sleight of hand checks like during combat. You could be fighting somebody over here and bonus actioning your Mage Hand to unpick the locks. And by unpick the locks, I mean lock the locks or something. Whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah.
You can also make it invisible, which is really fun. And this is one of those times we've talked about so many different abilities across so many like subclasses and classes where an ability comes up and it reminds you of a rule in the game.
Right.
For example, Mage Hand in the spell text, it calls it a spectral hand.
Right.
And sometimes we can forget, and I'm not like putting this on anybody. It's not a big deal. Even if you home rule it differently at your table, who gives a shit? But technically, a spectral hand is not invisible. People can see it.
Right.
That happens often at tables where Mage Hand is assumed to be this invisible thing that you can do all this crazy ass shit with. But Mage Hand Ledger Domain tells us that there's a very specific little part of that feat that allows arcane tricksters to make their Mage Hand invisible.
Right.
Therefore, it's pretty specific to this subclass. So just something to keep in mind. Level 9, we get Magical Ambush, one of my favorite abilities across everything. Like I've made so many villains, either actual arcane tricksters or just borrowed this ability from them. Like they could be anything, but as long as they have spellcasting, I'll just give them Magical Ambush, where it's like, if you have the invisible condition when you cast a spell on a target, it has disadvantage on the saving throw. Now, the thing about 2024 to remember is gaining the invisible condition is as easy as just making a good hide check, like a good stealth check. It's not literally turning invisible. When you hide and you hide well, you gain the invisible condition.
Oh, wow.
It's like a whole fucking thing in 2024. Yeah. That's why earlier in the earlier up here it says something about you gain the invisible condition or something like that.
Mhm.
Like, but another time I wrote you turn invisible. But yeah, it's a condition that you take on. It's very specific to 2024, but that's what that means. So pretty much like if you're hidden,
Okay.
if they don't know that you're casting the
Mhm.
spell on them and they can't see you and therefore they can't counterspell, they can't, you know what I mean? All that stuff, then the
Right.
saving throw is just at disadvantage.
That's
So
rad.
it's sick as hell. I've given that to
Yeah.
so many enemies. Level 13, we get versatile trickster, sorry. When you use the trip option for cunning strike, you can also use that option on another creature within 5 feet of your mage hand.
Mm.
So you're just using your
That's rad.
mage hand as an extra little thing if you're interested in
Mhm.
tripping. I think the only thing I don't like about this is how specific it is. It's so hyper specific. You have to be using the trip option specifically, and you have to have your mage
Mhm.
hand out and already ready to go. And it has to be within 5 feet of somebody. Because of all like how
Yeah.
specific this is, I don't like it. I don't deny that it's good. If you can hit all those
Yeah.
things, that's awesome. Then it's a
Yeah.
great ability. But it's annoying
I've
that I
used
have to hit 5 different
my mage
checkpoints.
hand a lot more. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'd be
you
using my
kind
mage
of
hand a
have
lot
to.
more.
Yeah. Now we get into level 17, Taylor. Now this is an awesome ability. It sounds very cool. There's one little tiny phrasing point that I'm like unsure of, but we'll get to it. Spell Thief.
Mhm.
Immediately after a creature casts a spell that targets you or includes you in an AoE attack, then you can take a reaction to force the caster to make an intelligence save. Uses your spell save DC, and if they fail, you negate the spell's effect and steal the knowledge if it's a level of a spell that you can cast. It does not need to be a wizard spell. It just needs to be a level that you can cast,
Okay.
which at level 17 is just 3
Okay.
and below. So, heads up, there's going to be a lot of spells that
Right.
you can't do this to. But if it's a third level or below, you can hit it
Mhm.
until you reach 19, and then you get fourth level, and then it'll increase. But
Right.
it
Right.
doesn't need to be a wizard spell, thank gosh. And the way what
Mhm.
happens next is that for the next 8 hours, you have that spell prepared. You can cast that spell as if it was your own. Now,
Nice.
after stealing a spell and having that prepared, you can't steal another
Mhm.
spell until you finish a long rest. So you'll never be able to have two spells
Okay.
at the same time. The only
Right.
thing that's
Right.
a little
Right.
interesting is the way like stealing the knowledge from this other person, because they don't
Mhm.
explicitly mention if the other person can't cast it again. Like it never really says that. It just says you negate the spell's
I
effect, like it
gotcha.
doesn't work this time. And then it says you steal the knowledge, but does that just mean yeah, we know that the arcane trickster gets the knowledge and that they can prepare it and cast the spell. But does that
Mhm.
also
Mhm.
mean that the other caster like literally loses it for 8 hours? Like can't never cast that spell for the next 8 hours? Or does it just mean that particular like they also know it? Like, are you just copying it? Or are you literally it uses the word steal, but it just doesn't say. So it's just kind of a table by table, DM to DM sort of situation where you guys have to decide at your table how you would
Mhm.
rule that. I think there's a world where both sides kind of make sense, you know, and like so I don't feel so strongly about either
Yeah.
side, if I'm being honest. Like it would kind of be like an in the decision in the moment kind of decision. Like I genuinely don't feel strong about either side. Like I'm kind of like, yeah, I see both sides on this particular
Yeah.
thing.
And again, it comes down to the fact that it's just one. It has to take a bunch. There has to be a bunch of boxes ticked for you to actually be able to steal it.
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah. And it's level
I'd
17. It's like you could do it that way. It really just depends on
probably
like
rule
the
it that the caster forgets that spell.
yeah.
In
Yeah.
my mind.
Works for me.
Yeah. But anyway,
Works for me.
that is the arcane trickster gang.
Hell yes.
On to
Dun dun dun.
the best rogue subclass, the assassin. No, I don't know if it's the best, but
Do my
There's
thumbnail
Justin's
early.
thumbnails. Yeah. So at level 3 for the assassin, you get assassinate, which in 2014 was rad. On this one, you get advantage on initiative rolls, and during the first round of each combat, you have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't gone yet. If the sneak attack hits, if you hit with sneak attack, the target takes extra damage equal to your rogue level. Wowie zowie, don't like that. Didn't used to be like auto crit on the first
It was an
attack?
auto crit.
Yeah.
It was any attack.
Yeah.
It was any attack that you hit. So that's why it was so fucking broken and awesome, because you could multi-class. And then if you had 2 attacks, the second attack could also be an auto crit. Even though you don't get sneak attack twice, at least that other attack still is auto. Then if you could do a
Right.
bonus action, also an auto crit. And then if you
Right.
were a Gloomstalker and you had a third attack that is part of your ambush dread bullshit thing, that is also critted. Now, maximum 20 points of damage if you go full rogue of bonus damage.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So
yeah.
So
I hate to be the messenger to tell you about this, Taylor. It truly broke my heart when I had to write it in the thing.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. A lot.
It makes me so sad.
You also get proficiency with the disguise kit and the poisoner's kit. This is all the same from last time, from 2014. And you do get like obviously the actual kits.
I like, if I can, I like that they very explicitly say you get the kits.
Right.
Like, obviously,
because
as a character, as a player, you should kind of like either figure out a way to make that make sense a little bit. But still, I like that they just make that, because I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me where I'm like, oh, cool, I'm proficient with this thing. Now I gotta, all right, hey, DM, where do I find a fucking calligraphy set?
Right.
We're like, well, you guys are in the middle of the desert, so good luck. You're like, oh,
right.
Great, this proficiency means nothing.
Awesome. Love that. Yeah.
So I do like that.
Starting at level 9, you get infiltration expertise, masterful mimicry, where you can mimic a person's speech and handwriting if you spent an hour or more studying them, or you can do roving aim. Your speed isn't reduced by 0 for steady aim. Oh, got it. So when you're using the steady aim feat, you can move still.
Yeah.
That's
which just means bonus action, make my attack at advantage.
Right.
So anytime that you're not getting your attack at advantage, and I mean, even if you're getting sneak attack from having a friend by 5 feet away, you should still do it just because you have a better chance of hitting. Like, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Unless you're going to use your bonus action for another thing and you genuinely need it to do that other thing. But still, yeah, that roving aim is awesome. Masterful mimicry, I respect so much. And it's like, I want it to be used all the time, but I just know that like there's going to be some games where players are going to have maybe a little bit of trouble spending an hour studying somebody.
Yeah.
It's possible. And I think most players are really good about like when you have an ability that kind of is a little specific like that, where it's like you have to spend an hour following somebody, like they'll find ways to work it in. And you as the DM have to kind of meet them halfway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They can't just be holed up in a building and nope, you can't get in.
There are no people to study.
Right.
And it's like, well, fucking give me somebody.
Give
me somebody to love. Okay.
Level 13, you can envenom your weapon. And when you use the poison option of the cunning strike, the target also takes 2d6 poison damage anytime it fails the save, ignoring any resistance to poison. Cool. Yep, love that. And then level 17, Death Strike. Sneak attack hits on the first round of combat. If a sneak attack hits on the first round of combat, the target must succeed on a Constitution save. On a fail, the attack's damage is doubled. And this Constitution save is based on your dex, 8 plus dex plus proficiency. So, ouchies.
Yeah. Pretty
Mhm.
good. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, I think that one's the exact same as last time.
Yep.
It
Pretty much
is.
everything is the same pretty much except for the Envenom
The
weapon
assassinate
pistol
ability of the
is
assassin.
the yeah. Yeah.
Infuriating.
They assassinated the assassin, I
Yeah,
think, in that one rule change.
that's a great title for this thumbnail that I'm gonna probably use. Okay. Uh moving on, because I simply can't linger on this fumble of theirs. I understand that some people were very confused about the surprised condition, which I think is why Assassinate gets changed so much. I don't even
Right.
think it's because necessarily it was that OP or anything. Like, I don't know. But uh because they changed surprise so much, surprise is even crazy. I mean, obviously it doesn't even get mentioned in Assassinate. And they changed the way that it works where if a bad guy is surprised, they just get disadvantage on initiative rolls. So there's a
Right.
world, if I'm the rogue, I am the assassin. I sneak up on this bad guy. I jump in from the ceiling and I go to, cut them down. I get advantage on my initiative rolls. The bad guy, because they're surprised, gets disadvantage. There's still a world where they go before me. And that's fucking annoying,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
makes no sense. I come out of invisibility. Just, are you kidding me? Yeah, annoyed. So moving on, the soul knife. I was a little surprised that this one made it through. Not because it's not cool or anything like that, but because there
Mhm.
were rumors already at the time of them adding in the psionic pretty soon. And this just feels like it is so psionic coded. And it is,
Right.
obviously. They
Yeah, yeah,
literally
yeah.
give them a resource called psionic energy dye. But like, yeah, it was just like interesting because it was like, you could have kind of made this just a subclass of the scion instead of doing a whole
Mhm.
rogue one for it. Not that it's not cool. I do like it, but yeah, I don't know. Um, here we go. Right at level 3, you get psionic power. You can use psi bolstered knack. If you fail an ability check that you're proficient in, you can use one of your psionic die to push it over. If the check then succeeds, then you get to keep that die. Before I go further, I should say psionic energy die are like a resource that you'll get with this subclass. The same way that Battle Master gets superiority die for the fighter, you get a bunch of extra little die that you get to chill with. Now at level 3, there are D6 and you got 4 of them, 4D6. Level 5, 6D8. Level 9, 8D8. Level 11, 8D10. Level 13, 10D10. And level 17, 12D12.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, don't get too excited because other than using them to do a bunch of abilities and stuff, which is cool,
Mhm.
not discounting that, don't think that you can just add D12 to an attack for damage sakes because you only usually use like one at a time
Right.
for the most part. But
Right.
anyway, regardless, you get a lot of them, which is kind of sick.
Mhm.
It's a little low key annoying as a bard main that my fucking bardic inspiration will never go past like a 5 or a 6. You know what I mean? Like it goes up to
Right.
a D12, but they get 12D12 and you can't throw
Right.
me a fucking bone.
Right.
That annoys the hell out of me. But anyway, so side bolstered knack, you fail an ability check, you get to roll your die. And if you succeed as a result of that, it expends the die. Otherwise, you're just keeping that. So that's sick.
Mhm.
Psychic whispers, you choose a number up to your proficiency bonus of creatures that you can see. As a magic action, you establish this telepathic link between all of you as long as you're within 1 mile of each other.
Dang.
You roll the psionic die in order to see how many hours it lasts. And you get to do that whole activity for free once per long rest. And then
Mhm.
if you want to do it a second time or a third time or a fourth time, then you have to start spending the die that you're rolling.
Okay.
Um, Also, level 3, we get those psychic blades. This is a huge portion of the Subclass, you're just manifesting psychic blades out of thin air.
Mhm.
And when you throw them and hit people, it like vanishes and it leaves behind no mark. So
Mm.
it's an assassin's dream, but you're not an assassin technically. Anyway, uh, it is a simple melee weapon. It does 1d6 psychic plus the modifier that you're using. Just in the off chance that you use strength, it does specify that it's like whatever modifier you're using. Obviously, as a rogue, you're going to be using dex,
Right.
but like I like that they just open it up just in case. If for some reason you're using strength, you can use strength. It has the finesse and the throne properties with a range of 60/120. And it has the Vex mastery, but it doesn't count against the number of masteries that you can do. It just has its
Nice.
own mastery. So I think that's really fucking cool. After an attack with these blades on your turn, you can make a melee or ranged attack with a second blade as a bonus action. But instead of 1d6 damage, it does 1d4.
Okay.
Still sick, though. Still sick. So at level 9, soul blades. Now they're just cooler and you can do more things with them. So homing strikes. If you miss with a psychic blade, you can roll a psionic die and add the number. If it hits because of that, then it's spended. If it doesn't hit, it's not spended. So you can just do that every time you miss, just in case. Then you get psychic teleportation. As a bonus action, expend one of your psionic die and roll it. Whatever you roll, multiply that by 10, and then that's how far you can teleport.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it'll be a maximum of 120, but
right.
you could just roll a 1 and then it would be 10 feet. So
Right.
it's a little bit of a gamble, but obviously still very good. And yeah, this is awesome. The whole like if it hits, then it's expended thing, you know what I mean? I think sometimes players are being treated like children. Where
Yeah.
it's like, hey, don't worry. If it doesn't work, let's just say you didn't even use it actually. Let's just
Right.
say you didn't waste it actually because it didn't work. Oh, it worked? Well, then we should spend. It's just kind of like I've been a bard for so much of my fucking life.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I've been
yeah.
giving people bardic inspiration and it doesn't always work. And I know that they gave a very specific subclass that had that ability, but it's still correct me if I'm wrong, it's still not in the bardic main class. They don't do it for bards, but they do it for everything else. And it's nuts. 13th level. You get Psychic Veil. As a magic action, you become invisible for 1 hour or until you dismiss it. It ends early if you deal damage or force a creature to make a save.
Okay.
So normal invisibility rules for the most part. Although actually not, because it says deal damage.
Right. So you can technically cast spells or something as long as it's not a save or a deal damage or
like if you cast a spell on a friend to like help them, like you cast jump on somebody or something.
Right.
You get 1 use of this per long rest unless you spend a psionic die in order to do it again.
Okay.
Another kind of really interesting thing to me is that they give you these abilities and they're like, yeah, but you get to do it for free at least once, and then you have to spend die. But also, here's 12 die. Here's 15 different die. Here's 8 dice. But also, you get to use your abilities for free. It's kind of, I don't know. I need to see it in action. There's a part of me that's like, man, this soul dice guy is just getting handed everything, man.
You know what? I don't know. I just say
so,
I don't know.
Level 17, you get Rend Mind. When you deal sneak attack with your psychic blades to a target, you can force them to make a wisdom save. If they fail, the target is stunned for 1 minute and repeats the save at the end of each of their turns.
Yes.
Hey, don't worry. You get to do it once for long rest for free, and then you have to spend 3 psionic
real
dice
talk, I
in order
might
to restore
wind
it.
up playing one of these.
They're pretty fucking cool, man.
They're rad.
The only downside I can see is like you would have to, as a player, this is how me as a player, if I'm playing this, I'm going to get bored of my daggers being exactly the same throughout the entire fucking game.
I gotcha.
You know, like when you're using physical weapons, you get
Mhm.
to change weapon from weapon. You get to
Well,
maybe have
there's
your
nothing
weapon
saying
upgrade or something. There's nothing to say that that
you
they has to look the
can't.
same. That's what I'm saying. Let me finish, Taylor. As my next thing is then I'm going to, as a player, flavor them differently. They change throughout my journey as a, you know what I mean? Maybe
Right.
they're tiny daggers that I use, blah, 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 blah. And then later on, maybe one time I make it a fucking sword and you
But
slice through somebody.
there's nothing
Because there's
saying specifically that you have to use these knives all the time either. Like there's
sometimes
really
it does. Rend
there
Mind, it
there are
explicitly
certain
says you must use the damage must come from the psychic blades.
right. But I
And
mean
then like
for the most
homing
part,
strikes, if you miss with psychic blade, you get to roll the psionic die. So there's
right.
just like a handful of specific ones. You're absolutely right that not every
Because you
single
still
thing.
also get two other masteries on top of
No, 100%.
the
Yeah.
thing.
You'll
So
still
like
use other things like a normal rogue, but
mhm,
there are a lot of little tiny things that are
yeah.
like the bonus action extra attack thing that you get as part of the psychic blades. It's after an attack with these blades.
Right.
So there's like 3 or 4 little things where you do have to use the psychic blades. So I'm just saying, I know what I would do is I would have fun describing what the blades look like each time.
Yeah.
That way I don't get bored. Because if they are literally like daggers every time from level 3
Mhm,
to level fucking 17, like I'm gonna die. So
yeah.
I'm gonna have to just have some fun being like, this time it looks like this. This time it's a boomerang. This time it looks like Kung Lao's hat. You know? I have to. But let's round this bad boy
Let's
out,
round
Taylor.
it out. Let's get it done. All right, last one is the thief. Level 3, get fast hands, quick hands. As a bonus action, you can do sleight of hand checks to pick a lock, disarm a trap, or pick a pocket. Golly day, I can talk, I promise. You could also use a bonus action to do the utilize action or to use a magic action to activate a magic item that requires an action. So this allows you to basically, the way that I'm reading it, use
Yeah.
magic items with like quicken spell. Like this is like a quicken spell on magic items.
That's how it feels to me as
Yeah.
well when I was reading it.
Yeah.
Because if I have a staff of power, right?
Hmm.
And that staff of power, this is like assuming a couple of things, right? Like it
Hmm.
depends on how your table and games handle magic items, like how fucking strict you
Hmm.
are when it comes to the requirements of those magic items or the
Right.
prerequisites that may come up as a result of those magic items.
Hmm.
But a staff of power, you can cast Globe of Invulnerability,
So
Cone of
that I wouldn't
Colds,
allow.
Lightning Bolt, and all that kind of stuff as a bonus action.
No, no. That is not what that says. That doesn't say that you can cast a spell as an action. It says activate a magic item. So this is like activating boots of like some of your like boots or capes or stuff that need to be
Mm.
activated for the ability to start working. Like you gotta the wings of flying or whatever. You gotta spend action economy to get that up and running.
Oh, I see. I see.
That's how I would read that, but definitely not. You're not cast. No, what the fuck? You're not casting Globe of Invulnerability as a bonus action out of your magic item. Get the hell out of here. No, no, no. This is like, or
The
I would
way that
allow
they've been
this.
writing rules lately,
Yeah, no,
I
no,
felt
no, no,
like
no.
anything was on the table.
The because it doesn't say cast a spell. Like in like those
I know, but
staff of
there's no
power.
like such a I don't, there's not like a specific definition of activating a magic item either. Like what you're saying makes sense. And I think that is what they meant.
Mhm.
But in D&D, in the glossary, there isn't like magic activation means this. So it's
Right.
like if the magic item casts spells, then I'm activating said magic item, I'm casting a spell. But I
Mhm.
agree that that's not what they meant, and that you're right that it refers to things that in the text of that magic item say use an action to say the
Mhm.
command word and activate this thing. I agree that that's what they mean, but you can see where my confusion was coming in, right? Like
Yeah. Oh yeah, 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 for
where it's
sure.
like if the magic item casts spells,
Mhm.
and I'm activating the magic item, one could make the argument, although I could see there being differences,
Mhm.
but you could make the argument that it's like, no, I'm activating it by spending the five
Right.
charges and casting
Right.
Cone of Cold. So it's
Right.
like I could see somebody making that argument.
Mhm.
Um, but I
But yeah.
also get your point 1,000,000%.
Anyway. So yeah, so hot topic here, gang. If you're looking for content that's gonna really rage bait the internet, talk about the fast hands ability of the thief. But anyway, moving on. Second story work. You get a climb speed equal to your walk speed, and you can use your dexterity to determine your jump distance instead of your strength. Moving on to level 9, you get Supreme Sneak. You are the supremest of sneaky sneaks. You get a new Cunning Strike action or option that you can do with it, which is the stealth attack. It costs a d6, and if you have the hide actions invisible condition, golly day. The attack doesn't end that condition, and if you end the turn behind through or low, wow.
take 5. So, gang, if you have the hide
Okay,
actions
yeah, there
invisible
we go. I got it.
condition,
The so if you have the invincible condition from the hide action, the attack doesn't end that condition if you are behind 3/4 or total cover at the end of your turn.
yeah, it's fucking good.
Mm-hmm. I like
Really,
that.
really good.
Moving on to level 13. Hopefully this one's not as bad of a tongue twister. You can use the magic action to you can attune up to 4 magic items. When you expend a charge of a magic item, you can roll a d6, and on a 6, it doesn't expend charge. Um
My bad.
you're
It was just
doing
named something different. It
yeah,
wasn't named
okay.
use magic
Yeah, I
action.
thought that was weird. Is use magic
Yeah.
item?
Yeah, it's just like this weird thing that they're able to do. Oh, it's use magic device. Same shit.
Oh, okay.
Use magic
Got it.
device is the name of it. It just you learn how to maximize the use of magic items, granting you the following benefits.
Gotcha. And yeah, and so you can use any spell scroll as well using your intelligence modifier. As if it's level 2 or above, then you have to make an arcanic check. The DC is 10 plus the spell's level, and then on a fail, the scroll disintegrates. If it's cantrip or level 1, it always works. That's pretty
So
cool.
this is fucking insane to me
Mm-hmm.
in a good way. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I want to play
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of
yeah.
these now because I have a staff of power currently, and being able to be like, oh, I'm spending now. Are we gonna? Is this kind of like when you expend a charge of a magic item, but when I cast Cone of Cold from my staff of power, it's 5 charges.
Mm-hmm.
I roll a d6. I get the 6. All 5 of those charges are still mine, or is it so specific to being one charge, the way that you cast a necklace of fireballs and it's one charge
I'd
for one fireball?
allow I'd allow rolling of 5d6. And then however many sixes you get, that's how many charges don't get used.
That
Just to
feels
make
like
it
a home
fun.
rule thing, but
Yeah, it
that
does
does
fit.
sound fun and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like that so
But
much
I
that that's what
think
I'm going to do as well. But
I think the
what are
rules
they
that
saying
they're
though?
what are they saying? I mean it
It
says
could be
roll.
either.
Yeah.
It could be either. That's what I mean. This is why I hate 2024. It's because they keep being so vague about it. Everything is kind of a
Well, so
little
like
ambiguous
yeah,
sometimes, where it's like I could see how people could interpret this several ways. Because you could read
it
it
does say when
so like
yeah.
literally and be like, when you expend a charge of a magic
So
item,
if you're spending 5 charges, that's 5 charges. You know what I'm
then
saying?
roll 1d6 on a 6 and it doesn't expend the charge.
So If
But you're
it's
not
5,
spending a charge. You're spending 5 charges. If we consider those two things separate, this is like a philosophical or like a
right.
linguistic question.
Well,
That's what I mean.
so like,
I
but
wish
it's
that it
5
would just
charges,
say
but
it
it's 5 separate
explicitly.
charges.
No, I
Right?
know that. But like, I don't know if that's the end all be all of it all. I think that's one
Right.
person's take on what this could mean. But I could see how people could be like, no, one charge, just because you're adding it on and we're doing 5 charges doesn't mean that 5 charges, that what they meant was a single charge. As soon as you start you're doing more than that, then it's outside of this. And that
I
doesn't,
gotcha.
that's not what they mean, because then it's insane, because then every time I use my wand of magic missiles, I can burn every single charge every time, roll a d6 and get a 6 and be like, all those charges are still mine. Because it doesn't say roll 1d6 per charge. It just says
Right.
when you expend a charge, roll a d6.
Right.
So we can make the extrapolation that what they might mean is roll 1d6 per charge. But that's, we've already talked about this for 20 minutes. And it's like, DMs and players shouldn't have to have a fucking discussion about about the
Right.
linguistics of what a charge means, and start trying to imagine the thinking of the writers of this game, probably fucking AI at this point. So it's like, what are we doing? That's why I get so heated, because you're Wizards of the Coast. You're literally like D&D. How can you guys not put more explicit language in there?
Yeah.
That is just like,
It's not like you don't
there's
know
there's
what
not
your
so many
player base is
questions.
like. Yeah.
Like, I just don't want
Anyway,
there to be so many questions.
We got one last thing for the thief here, and that is the thief's reflexes at level 17. You get to take 2 turns during the first round of combat. Your first turn is whatever initiative you rolled, and then the second turn is just the same thing, -10. So you get 2 turns in the first round. That's objectively pretty dope.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah, it's really, really good. Yep, not mad at that one at all.
Minus the rage that we induced at level 13. Level 17, pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
I'd want
level 9 was good too.
Yeah. That this whole
Thief
subclass is good.
Thief is great. Yeah, they have a lot of cool things going for them.
Since they nuked my freaking assassin.
The assassin has been nuked. But hey, gang, that's the beautiful thing about this game, is that you don't even have to use these rules. You can use the 2014 rules. Talk to your DM, try and get them to understand that you want to do a lot of damage, okay? And that they're hamstringing us over here with some of these 2024 rules. Some of them have us doing even more damage and helping us out, the monk, right? But, we still got some more classes to go through. And there's nothing, when I think of class, I think of classy, and making things that are classy. I mean, a nice glass bottle of cold milk.
Yeah.
Thank you, Big Milk, for sponsoring
Okay,
this
that's all we can get
episode.
into this time. You can find
You're
us on
greatest.
TikTok and Instagram at So You Want to Be a DM, or you can ask us a question at So You Want to Be a DM at gmail.com. If you like the episode, don't forget to give us 5 stars and a review wherever you found us. Check out the Patreon, the Twitch, and our merch with the link in the description. Join us next time for more Dungeon Master tips and tricks.
Bye.
See you.
Hey, gang, it's Justin. I have the honor of giving a shout out to the members of our Patreon gang. Nub Muffins, may Palor's light shine upon you. Marsavies, have you watered your flesh prison lately? Yazvi, the eternal library where color and community await you. Molly Adeza, who gets yet another level up. And there's Elijah, Tappy, and Linguini. Gang, we appreciate and love you. Tune in next time for more tips and tricks from So You Want to Be a DM.